You pull down on the screen. Nothing. You pull again. This time, a new post appears. Then a message. Then a face you have not seen in years. Then a video that does not matter, but somehow gets the next 7 seconds of your life. The movement is tiny. One thumb, a few centimeters of glass. The screen stretches, releases, and fills itself again. And almost immediately, your brain asks the same question it asked a moment ago. Maybe something changed. That is the strange part. Scrolling feels modern because the object is modern. A phone, a feed, a screen that can produce more information than a whole village could produce in a month. But the feeling underneath it is older. The feeling is search. Something might be here. Something might be new. Something might matter. A signal, a reward, a warning, a person, a piece of information that changes what you do next. So you check. Then you check again. Most of the time, you are not choosing a clear goal. You are not opening the phone with one exact question and closing it after one exact answer. You are scanning. And scanning is one of the oldest things a nervous system can do. That is why scrolling can feel less like reading and more like hunting. To understand the loop, remove the phone, remove the bedroom, remove the app icons, remove the little red dots, the comments, the videos, the endless column of other people's lives. Now picture a human moving through an older world. They are not surrounded by guaranteed meals. They are surrounded by possibilities. A patch of berries might be empty or ripe. A track in the dirt might mean nothing, or it might point toward an animal. A sound in the grass might be wind or danger. A face across the camp might be calm or angry. A change in the group might be meaningless, or it might affect your place inside it. In that world, attention had to search, not randomly, not perfectly, but constantly enough to notice change. The useful thing was not only finding a reward, it was detecting that the environment had updated. Something moved, something appeared, someone looked over, someone stopped talking, someone found food, someone knew something you did not. This is the older logic behind scanning. The brain is not only asking, is there pleasure here? It is asking, is there information here? That distinction matters, because the modern feed is not just a pleasure machine, it is an information landscape. Every refresh says the environment may have changed. Every swipe says the next item might be more important than the last one. And when the next thing might matter, the brain has a reason to keep looking. This is where dopamine gets misunderstood. People often talk about dopamine as if it is just the brain's pleasure chemical. You get a reward, dopamine appears, and that is the whole story. But in neuroscience, dopamine is also deeply involved in learning, motivation, salience, and prediction. It helps the brain mark what might be worth paying attention to next. That means uncertainty matters. If something good happens every single time, the brain can learn the pattern. The signal becomes predictable. But if something useful appears sometimes and not other times, the system becomes harder to ignore. Maybe the next pull gives you nothing. Maybe the next pull gives you a message. Maybe the next pull gives you a joke, a face, a threat, a compliment, a trend, a piece of news, or a tiny sign that someone noticed you. The brain does not need every pull to reward you. It only needs enough uncertainty to make the next pull feel possible. This is why variable reward is so sticky. The reward is not fixed. The timing is not fixed. The value is not fixed. So the nervous system keeps updating its prediction. The gesture becomes a question. The screen becomes an answer that changes. And the space between them becomes the loop. Pull, wait, check. Update, check again. The phone does not have to be magical for this to work. It only has to speak the language of an old prediction system. But the strongest feeds are not only unpredictable, they are social. That makes them different from a simple game of chance. A feed can give you novelty, but it can also give you people. A like, a reply, a view count, a name, a face, a private message, a sign that someone reacted while you were gone. For a human brain, social information is not neutral. For most of our history, what other people noticed, wanted, remembered, mocked, copied, or ignored could matter. It could affect belonging, reputation, trust, status, safety, attraction, whether you were inside the circle or drifting toward the edge. So a social reward can feel larger than its physical size. A like is not food. A comment is not shelter. A view count is not protection. But the brain can still treat them as signals from the group. That is why scrolling is not only what is new, it is also, did anyone respond? Did I miss something? What are people paying attention to? Where is the group looking? The feed turns social weather into a moving surface. Sometimes it gives you nothing. Sometimes it gives you outrage. Sometimes it gives you laughter. Sometimes it gives you proof that the group saw you. And because humans are built to track group attention, the screen can feel alive even when you are alone in a room. This is the hunting feeling in its modern form. Not hunting an animal, hunting a change in the social environment. Now add the modern mismatch. An older search system was shaped in environments with edges. A landscape ended. A trail went cold. A group conversation moved on. A hunt failed. A meal happened. Night arrived. The body got tired. The village became quiet. The signal faded into the ordinary limits of the world. Modern feeds remove many of those limits. There is no edge of the forest. There is no final patch of berries. There is no last face in the group. There is always another post under the post, another video after the video, another argument below the argument, another person, another signal, another chance that the next thing will finally be the thing your brain was waiting for. This does not mean the brain is broken. It means an old search system has been placed inside an environment with no natural stopping cue. Platforms do not have to understand your whole mind. They only have to notice what keeps attention moving. Novelty keeps it moving. Uncertainty keeps it moving. Social feedback keeps it moving. Outrage keeps it moving. The possibility of reward keeps it moving. And when all of those signals arrive through the same piece of glass, the brain can lose the feeling of enough. Not because you are weak, because the system was not built for infinite possible updates. It was built to search until the world gave it a boundary. The modern feed is what happens when the boundary disappears. So when scrolling feels like hunting, the title is not literally true. You are not walking through grass with a spear. You are not tracking an animal. You are not searching the horizon for food. But an old part of the brain may be doing something familiar. It is scanning an environment for useful change. It is watching for uncertainty. It is checking for reward. It is listening for the group. The object changed. The motion changed. The scale changed. But the question underneath the behavior stayed strangely old. Is there something here? Did the world update? Did the group move? Did I miss a signal? That is why the loop can feel so small from the outside and so strong from the inside. From the outside, it is only a thumb on glass. From the inside, it is possibility. The next swipe might be nothing. The next swipe might be something. And the nervous system has always had a difficult relationship with maybe. Understanding this does not make the phone harmless. It does not make the habit disappear. And it does not mean every scroll is ancient destiny. But it changes the story. The problem is not that you secretly love wasting time. The problem is that a search system built for limited worlds now lives inside an unlimited one. So the quiet question is not, why am I so weak? It is, what edge does this environment refuse to give me? The phone goes face down on the table. The room becomes still. No new post appears. No red dot opens. No face moves across the glass. But for a few seconds, the brain is still angled toward it, still listening, still waiting for the world to change.